Since time immemorial, humanity has sought tools to protect itself from the invisible forces, those energies that cannot be perceived with the senses, but that undoubtedly affect our reality. And if I told you that the most powerful weapon against negative influences is not a mystical object hidden in some secluded esoteric library, nor a legendary amulet lost in time, but something that you probably have in your kitchen right now: salt. Yes, that humble white crystal, present in all cultures and civilizations, has been used for millennia not only to preserve food, but also to protect souls, clean energies, and seal spaces against adverse forces. But why does salt have this ability? What secrets does this common substance hide? And how can we use it consciously for our protection and spiritual development? Next, we will explore the history of salt as a sacred tool, its power in the esoteric traditions of different cultures, and how you can apply it in your daily life to protect you, purify you, and strengthen your spirit. Because sometimes, the answer to the deepest mysteries is not hidden in an ancestral grimoire or in a forgotten temple, but in something so everyday that we have overlooked it. Throughout history, salt has been much more than a simple condiment. It has been a symbol of power, purity, and protection in various spiritual cultures and traditions. Its value was so great in antiquity that it was even used as a currency in some empires. And in fact, the word salario comes from the Latin salarium, which referred to the payment with salt that the Roman soldiers received. But beyond its material value, salt has been present in rituals and mystical beliefs since time immemorial. To understand its spiritual power, we must go back to the origins of humanity, when our ancestors began to observe the purifying and conservative effects of this mineral. In ancient Egypt, salt was used in embalming rituals. The priests considered it a sacred element capable of preserving not only the body, but also the soul on its journey to the beyond. It was believed that it had the ability to prevent spiritual corruption and keep the essence of the individual intact. In the Hebrew tradition, salt was part of the sacrifices and offerings to God. In the Leviticus, it is mentioned that every offering should carry salt as a symbol of purity and incorruptibility. The pact of salt mentioned in the Bible was an eternal alliance, because salt, as it did not decompose easily, represented the immutable and sacred. The Romans also saw salt as an element of protection. Before entering a new house or starting a business, salt was spread to ensure good fortune and ward off negative influences. This practice has survived to this day in various cultures, where throwing salt on the left shoulder is considered a method to get rid of bad luck. Esoteric traditions have maintained that salt is not only a physical substance, but contains a unique vibration capable of absorbing and transmuting energies. Being a crystal, salt has a geometric structure that allows it to interact with the energy field of living beings and spaces. Its power lies in its ability to absorb dense and negative energies, thus purifying the environment and the aura of people. In Hermeticism and alchemy, salt is one of the three fundamental principles, along with sulfur and mercury. It represents the fixed and material substance, the body that must be purified to achieve spiritual enlightenment. Alchemists understood that salt not only cleansed physically, but also had an effect on the psyche and soul, helping to transmute internal impurities in wisdom and clarity. Even in the shamanic traditions of various cultures, salt is used in cleansing and protection rituals. Shamans and healers use it to draw protective circles, to purify objects and people, and to seal energy portals. Beyond its use in rituals, salt has been considered a barrier against unwanted entities and energies. In demonology and in the legends of various cultures, it is said that evil spirits cannot cross a line of salt, which is why many people spread salt on the threshold of their doors or place it in the corners of their homes to avoid the entry of disturbing influences. But how is it possible that something so simple has such great power? Is there an explanation behind this phenomenon? Why is salt so effective in protection and spiritual purification? To understand it, we must first understand the nature of energy and how it interacts with the physical and spiritual world. Salt is a crystal, and like all crystals, it has a geometric structure ordered at the molecular level. This arrangement gives it unique properties in terms of absorption and energy transmission. In the esoteric world, crystals have been used for centuries to channel, store, and transmute energy, and salt is no exception. Unlike other crystals such as quartz, salt has a particular quality. Not only does it store energy, but it also absorbs and dissolves it. Its crystalline structure allows it to catch negative vibrations and neutralize them, dissipating them in its environment. This explains why, after certain rituals or cleansing, salt becomes dark or crystallizes irregularly. It has absorbed a large amount of dense energy. From a scientific point of view, salt is an excellent electric conductor when it is in solution. This means that it can interact with the electromagnetic fields of the environment and living beings. Our body is a field of energy in constant interaction with the environment, and salt, when in contact with us, can act as a natural balancer. In addition, salty water has been used for centuries as a purifier, and today we know that salty solutions have the ability to absorb negatively charged ions, which are often associated with high-density energy environments. This reinforces the idea that salt not only spiritually purifies, but also has a tangible effect on the cleaning of the energy of the environment. From a spiritual point of view, the human body is a microcosm within the macrocosm of the universe. The ancient Hermetic tradition said, "As it is above, it is below," and in this case, the composition of our own body reflects this connection. We are approximately 70% water, and our fluids contain essential mineral salts for life. But beyond its biological function, the salt in our body also plays an esoteric role. The ancient sages believed that salt connects us with the earth and helps us maintain the balance between the material and the spiritual. That is why practices such as sea salt baths not only relax the body, but also restore our energy and help us eliminate heavy emotional and spiritual loads. Low vibration entities and energies feel attracted by dense and negative environments. However, salt acts as a shield that neutralizes these vibrations and creates an environment where these influences cannot be sustained. This is why, in many cultures, salt is spread in the corners of the rooms, on the thresholds of the doors, and is even placed under the bed to prevent energetic attacks during sleep. Beyond superstition, this method is based on the ability of salt to act as a vibrational barrier. If we think of energy as a frequency, salt raises the vibration of the environment, preventing negative energies from being able to sustain themselves in that space. How can we take advantage of this power? So far, we have explored the nature of salt and its ability to absorb and neutralize dense energies. But how is it really used in spiritual practice? Ancient traditions have developed multiple methods to take advantage of the power of salt, from cleansing rituals to barriers of protection against negative influences. One of the most common uses is the cleansing of the aura. It is believed that our energy field can accumulate negative loads throughout the day due to intense emotions, interactions with other people, or even exposure to certain environments. A bath with sea salt or Himalayan salt can help release these energies and restore balance. The key is to visualize how salt extracts energetic impurities while dissolving in water, taking with it everything that does not belong to our being. Another extended practice is the cleaning of spaces. Spreading salt in the corners of a room, especially in those areas where heavy energy is felt, helps absorb and neutralize any negative load. After a few hours or days, it is recommended to sweep and discard the salt outside the house, ideally in running water, to completely release the trapped energies. Beyond cleaning, salt has been used since ancient times as a protective barrier against adverse influences. Different cultures have developed methods to block energy attacks and keep unwanted entities away. One of the best-known rituals is the salt circle, used in magical and esoteric practices to delimit a sacred space. It is believed that this circle creates an energy field that prevents any low-vibration entity from entering. This method is common in shamanic rituals, deep meditation sessions, or even in spiritual communication practices, where it is vital to establish a safe energy boundary. In addition, placing a small amount of salt in a cloth bag and carrying it with you is an ancestral practice for personal protection. In some traditions, it is combined with herbs such as rosemary or laurel to enhance its effect. Another form of protection is salt under the bed or at the entrance to the home. It is believed that this prevents spiritual attacks during sleep and prevents disturbing energies from entering the personal space. In some rituals, it is combined with a glass of water to capture and dissipate negative vibrations. Beyond protection and cleaning, salt also has the ability to transmute energies. That is, to transform dense vibrations into more subtle and harmonious energies. This principle is used in spiritual alchemy, where it is sought not only to eliminate the negative, but to turn it into something positive. A little-known method is the use of salt as a catalyst in manifestation rituals. Some traditions suggest writing wishes or intentions on a piece of paper and burying them in a container with salt for a complete lunar cycle. It is said that salt purifies any energy block associated with the desire, facilitating its materialization. Salt is an element of duality. It is a bridge between the physical and the spiritual, between matter and energy. Its power is so strong that it is not only used by those who seek the light, but is also feared by those who work with shadows. Many legends speak of how certain entities avoid the places where there is salt, because its vibration weakens them or makes them unable to hold on to that plane. In ancient cultures, salt was used in exorcisms and burial rituals. Its ability to break energy bonds and dissipate astral influences has been documented in various mystical traditions. It is no coincidence that, in many cultures, after a discussion or negative event, it is recommended to spread salt in the home to cut any unwanted energy residue. Now that we have explored the profound power of salt in energy protection and transmutation, it is time to bring this knowledge into practice. Next, I will share with you techniques and rituals that you can do in your day-to-day life to take advantage of salt as a spiritual tool. This is one of the most effective methods to eliminate negative energies accumulated in the body. You can do it after a difficult day, a discussion, or when you feel that your energy is low. Fill a bathtub with warm water and add a cup of sea salt, Himalayan salt, or coarse salt. If you don't have a bathtub, you can dissolve the salt in a bucket of water and pour it over your body after showering. As you submerge or pour the water, visualize how the salt extracts from you all the negative charges, as if they were impurities dissolving in the water. Stay in the water for at least 10 minutes in a state of relaxation. At the end, let the water drain completely before drying yourself with a clean towel. This ritual not only cleanses energetically, but also leaves a feeling of renewal and freshness. Your home is your refuge, and it is essential to keep it free of dense energies. Salt can help you create a protective shield. Spread a thin line of salt on the thresholds of doors and windows. This creates a barrier that prevents the entry of unwanted energies. Place small containers of salt in the corners of the rooms to absorb negative vibrations. Change it every week and discard the salt used outside the house. For a deeper cleaning, Mix salt with water and lightly spray the corners of the home while repeating a protective affirmation. This is a powerful ritual to clean your space from any heavy energy. It is ideal after visits, discussions, or events that have generated tension in the environment. Fill a glass with water and add a tablespoon of coarse salt. Place the glass in a central place in the house or in the room where you feel a strange energy. Leave it there for 24 hours. If the next day the salt has risen or bubbles have formed, it means that it has absorbed negative energy. Discard the water in the toilet or in running water, never on the ground, thanking the cleaning. You can carry a small bag of salt with you to protect you from negative influences in your day-to-day. Get a small bag of cloth, preferably cotton or linen. Fill it with sea salt, and if you wish, add herbs such as rosemary or laurel to enhance its effect. Carry the amulet with your intention, holding it between your hands and visualizing a protective shield around you. Take it in your bag, pocket, or leave it under your pillow for night protection. If you are going to perform an intense spiritual practice, such as a deep meditation, tarot reading, or invocation, you can use the salt to protect your space. Draw a circle with salt around you before starting the ritual. While you do it, declare your intention that this circle is a barrier of light and protection. Stay inside the circle until you finish your practice. This method is used in various magic and shamanic traditions to ensure that only benevolent energies have access to your space. Some additional tips to strengthen this spiritual tool are: 1. Renew the salt regularly. The salt you use for protection and cleaning must be changed frequently as it absorbs energy. 2. Do not reuse the salt used. 3. Avoid contact with other people. If you use a salt amulet, it is better that no one else touches it so as not to transfer energies. 4. Trust your intuition. If you feel that a place or situation needs a cleaning with salt, follow your instinct and act. Since time immemorial, salt has been considered much more than a simple seasoning. It is a link between the earthly and the divine, a crystal with unique properties that allows us to clean, protect, and transform our energy. Its power has been recognized in ancient civilizations, in esoteric rituals, and in spiritual practices that have lasted through the centuries. Throughout this video, we have explored its historical importance, its esoteric power, and its practical applications. We have seen how salt can absorb negative energies, serve as a protective shield, and help us on our spiritual path. From the cleaning baths to the protection circles, its use is as vast as it is profound. But beyond theory and rituals, the true key lies in intention. Salt, like any spiritual tool, amplifies the energy we give it. It is not just about spreading it or carrying an amulet, but about understanding its meaning and using it consciously. When we use salt on purpose, we become alchemists of our own energy, capable of transforming darkness into light, fear into strength, and uncertainty into clarity. So I invite you to experiment with this knowledge. Observe how the energy of your environment changes when you apply these methods. Do you feel more clarity, more lightness? Do you perceive changes in the atmosphere of your home? Every little ritual is a reminder that we have the power to shape our reality. And now tell me, have you used salt in your spiritual practice? Do you know other methods that we did not mention in this video? Leave me your experience in the comments, and let's continue exploring together the mysteries of the universe. If you liked this content and want to continue learning about esoteric tools, ancient teachings, and spiritual techniques, subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and share this knowledge with those who feel they need it. Remember, power has always been in you. Salt is only the catalyst, is only the